Live from the WMSV television studios at the College of Mount St. Vincent, this is Channel 8 News.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to WMSV News on Channel 8. Alongside Michelle Ross and Ciara Reynosa, I'm Dan Federico, and here are today's stories. A reputed gangster who terrorized the Bronx for 2 decades was fatally shot in the head in the Bronx on Friday night. According to police, Michael Meldis was shot in the head sitting in a car on Ellsworth Avenue in the Throgs Neck neighborhood at about 10:30 p.m. Meldis died on the scene. Former commanding officer of the NYPD's Organized Crime Homicide Task Force, Joe Coffey, claims he is happy about the incident, saying Meldis terrorized the Bronx for decades. Meldis and his brother were known hitmen for the Bonanno, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families. Ciara?
New information about a possible hate crime that was committed on November 10th in Brooklyn have arisen. The possible hate crime took place at around 9:40 p.m. on Kingston Avenue in Crown Heights. Officials stated that a group of men attacked a 19-year-old Hasidic man. The Hasidic man said that he was walking down the street when 8 men walked up to him. He then stated that one of them punched him in the face, and then they all fled. Police were able to check surveillance cameras along the street and were able to capture images of some of the suspects. These suspects were described as black males who appear to be all in their early 20s or late teens. According to officials, this is not the first hate crime in the Crown Heights area. There have been at least 8 incidents that the NYPD's Hate Crimes Task Force unit have been investigating. Some of these hate crimes include graffiti of hate symbols. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIP. Dan?
It has been a week since the devastating typhoon hit the Philippines, with many people still homeless after the destruction. However, many people have helped contribute to the cleanup of the areas that were badly destroyed. Also, power lines are now being restored, which will be a big help to the residents, while the main airport has been reopened. The U.S. has continued its help as well, sending helicopters from the USS George Washington with fresh water and other supplies for people who are still in need. Michelle?
Instead of being left a tip from her customers, a gay waitress was left a rude note on the dinner receipt. Dana Morales, who works at Gallup Asian Bistro in Bridgewater, New Jersey, is openly gay and served in the United States Marine Corps. The family of 4 who left the note paid the $94 check but left the tip space blank. The note read, "I'm sorry, but I cannot tip because I do not agree with your lifestyle or how you lived your life." An insulted Morales told ABC News that when she read the note, seeing that they can't tip her because of her lifestyle, she was rather offended and mad. She didn't know how to react to it. The message became viral after Morales posted the message on her Facebook wall to vent. If the family were to come into the restaurant again, Morales said that she would not confront them but serve them just like any other customer. In other news, as students and pedestrians were walking through the area, a car bomb exploded, killing 10 people near the gates of Kabul Educational University, located in Afghanistan's capital, on Saturday. The area continues to be cleaned up. More and more bodies are sure to be found. The explosion took place near the site where Afghan elders were supposed to vote on a security agreement with the United States. More than a dozen cars were destroyed, leaving shattered glass, blood, and even pieces of flesh covering the ground. Ciara?
A 25-year-old man was shot by a police officer this Saturday after he pointed his gun at the group of officers who were called to his housing project in Queens. Officials stated that the incident happened after midnight on Saturday at a building on Beach Channel Drive in Bell Harbor, Queens. A 911 call was received by police stating that there was an assault on the 3rd floor at the Beach Channel Drive building around 10:30 p.m. 4 police officers were dispatched and heard screaming from a stairwell in the building upon arrival. The officers stated that when they entered the stairwell, they saw an armed man. The officers ordered the man to drop his handgun. However, he refused and ran up the stairs, where he pointed his weapon at the officers. One of the officers immediately fired his gun at the man and shot him in the torso. The man was then sent to the Jamaica hospital, where he is currently in critical condition. Michelle?
The founders of Snapchat were offered $3 billion for their company and surprisingly turned it down. The young duo, Evan Spiegel, age 23, and Bobby Murphy, age 25, created the mobile app only 3 years ago, which means it does not have a long record of success. Mark Zuckerberg, the famous CEO of Facebook, was the one who offered them the large amount of money. But many people are wondering why Zuckerberg would make such a move and why the young potential entrepreneurs would deny it. With the rise of Twitter and Instagram, the activity of Facebook users has been declining. After buying Instagram for $1 billion last year, Zuckerberg is trying to keep the young social media demographic entertained. But the Snapchat founders believe that they can make a lot more than Zuckerberg's offer. Dan?
When Sandy might be long gone from the Big Apple, but Jeremy Lin still seems to run Madison Square Garden. Lin and the Houston Rockets were able to contain Carmelo Anthony's big game as they beat the Knicks 109-106. Lin had his best game of the season, scoring 21 points, grabbing 3 boards, and dishing out 5 assists on the night, adding a well-needed scoring punch next to James Harden's 33 points. Anthony's best game of the season didn't help the team as he poured in 45 points while adding 10 rebounds. Michelle?
Rapper Sean Combs, or popularly known as P. Diddy, posted a photo of his children packing their own clothes to send to relief agencies in the Philippines. Filling up boxes with their shoes, clothing, and blankets, they sent their belongings to victims of the typhoon who need these items a lot more than they do. Combs' friends told TMZ that his kids were so moved by the stories of the devastation that they organized their own family-style relief effort. 6-year-old twins Jesse James and Delilah Starr teamed up with their brothers Christian and Quincy, hoping other Hollywood children will follow their lead. The annual Victoria's Secret fashion show was filmed last week in Tokyo, Japan. Performers such as Taylor Swift and Fall Out Boy sang up and down the runway alongside the supermodels. Each year, a model is chosen to strut the fantasy bra, and Candace Swinepoel was the lucky blonde bombshell to do so. The bra was made out of 4,200 gems and comes out to $10 million. Past models who have worn other versions of the fantasy bra include Miranda Kerr, Tyra Banks, Gisele Bundchen, and Heidi Klum. The show airs on CBS on December 3rd. Ciara?
A New Jersey woman known as Deborah Feldman, who has been missing since 2009, is believed to be one of the victims of the admitted serial killer, Israel Keys. Keys was an Army veteran and traveling contractor who drove around remote locations like parks, campgrounds, or hiking trails hunting for new victims. The FBI reported that Keys admitted that he killed about 11 victims before he was arrested in March 2012, one of which was a woman he abducted on the East Coast on April 9, 2009. This woman is believed to be Feldman, who was last seen at her Hackensack home on April 8, 2009. In addition, federal agents stated that when Keys was presented with a picture of Feldman, Keys paused and stated that he was not ready to talk about that one. However, the FBI was unable to get confirmation of Feldman's death from Keys afterwards because Keys committed suicide in his Alaska jail cell last December. Officials reported that Keys had slit his wrist and then strangled himself with his bedding. Investigators found a 4-page note expressing no remorse for his murder victims and stated that Keys was a murder addict who studied other serial killers. Although Keys left a note, he left no clues about any other victims he killed. Dan?
For the past 3 seasons, the New York Rangers had never come out of Montreal with a victory. On Saturday night, the Blue Shirts finally snapped that streak, defeating the Canadiens 1-0. The only goal scored by the Rangers was from Ryan Callahan, who added his 6th goal on the season on a power play. The main story of the game was fantastic net minding from rookie Cam Talbot. Talbot, now 4-1-0 on the season, stopped all 26 shots he faced. Also, a new nickname was christened for Talbot. The keeper is now known as Prince Talbot, which of course is a play on words from King Henrik Lundqvist. Michelle?
San Francisco transformed into Gotham City to fulfill a little boy's wish as Bat-Kid on Friday morning. Miles Scott, who was diagnosed with leukemia at only 18 months, just finished his last chemotherapy treatment this June and had a dream of being Batman. The Make-A-Wish Foundation created an entire day for the 5-year-old boy, resulting in 13,000 people turning up to cheer him on along the way as he fought the battles of evil. His day began with a special edition cover on the San Francisco Chronicle, whose entire front page was dedicated to the young superhero. The marketing and promotions manager for Make-A-Wish, Jen Wilson, says that this was an event that they thought of as a great opportunity for people to share in the power of a wish so they can see how it affects not only the children and their families, but also the other people involved. Many people reached out to volunteers, such as actors, asking if they could play a role, and even a firehouse that wanted to come out on a fire truck to show their support. Ciara?
The famous actor Alec Baldwin was caught in another confrontation with reporters and photographers this week while he tried to pack his car for his family and him as they left their Greenwich Village apartment building. According to Baldwin, the reporters and photographers had been harassing his wife, his baby, and himself since his stalker, Genevieve Sabaran, was found guilty of stalking and harassing Baldwin. Sabaran argued that Baldwin and herself had a romantic relationship. However, Baldwin denied this and stated that she terrorized his life. Sabaran was sentenced to 7 months in jail during the incident of Baldwin and his family leaving their Greenwich Village apartment. Baldwin did not answer any questions from reporters, but merely asked them to go away while stating that the flashes from the photographers were scaring his baby. Yet his calm demeanor did not last for long as his wife, Hilaria Baldwin, pointed out a reporter who almost hit her with a microphone. The day before, Baldwin then confronted the reporter and called the police to have the reporter arrested. The reporter stated that she did nothing wrong. At that point, Baldwin left the scene, but not before he accidentally hit another reporter's car. However, Baldwin handled the situation with grace and told the reporter that he would pay for any damages. Our last story for tonight involves a dispute over a Macy's Thanksgiving parade float and the rocker Joan Jett. According to Macy's parade spokesman Orlando Veras, Macy's had to move Jett and her band off the South Dakota float because South Dakota ranchers felt that their state could not be represented by a vegetarian and animal rights advocate. Jett stated that she will switch floats and continue focusing on the millions of people who will be observing the parade for entertainment and celebration. In addition, she argued that she will not be sidetracked by other people's political agendas. Veras agreed with Jett and told reporters that Macy's has never promoted or engaged in advocacy and will make sure that there are no further distractions from Macy's entertainment mission. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Ciara Renee Rosa with Michelle Ross and Dan Federico. See you next time on Channel 8.